do that to me.
Sorry.
Good morning. I don't know why my daughter-in-law turned it off for me. She knows I'm nervous already. Ah, so here I am, and here you are. And I know that God is here to minister to you today. So, as we get started, and I know people are still coming in and moving about, I was asked to talk about relationships. And trust me, I'm not going to talk about how to get a husband. I have big problems in those areas. I'm a double D, and that's not my bra size. That's a D in the front and a D in the back for divorce. So let's not even go there. But when we talk about relationship, it is defined as the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. Relationship is a beautiful thing when people are connected. But when that relationship unravels, disconnects, hurt, pain, anger, and other emotions can come forth that you didn't know existed within you. An unraveled relationship can take you to another dimension. When I look at this session and when Sister Karen had called and asked me to speak on relationship, I thought, she has lost her mind. What in the world? Because last year, my whole life when it comes to relationships just unraveled, just came apart. Friends, family, you name it. It was just a complete mess. But by design, when we're going through something, God is working in us to minister to someone else, to minister to someone else. Me standing here before you is only by design. In 2021, when I attended a wedding here in Wisconsin, because I lived in Missouri, and I heard about this ladies' retreat, I'm like, wow, that sounds so great. And I told my daughter-in-law, back up for that ladies' retreat. I believe that, God can speak to me and give me wisdom and direction for my life. So I'm all excited in 2021 to be here, to hear what God has to say. And you open up your heart and your mind, speak to me, Lord. And he does. And you're like, no, that is not what I want to hear. Instead of him telling me what I want to hear, God is speaking to me and telling me, you are moving to Wisconsin. I'm like, I'm in the promised land. Everybody knew that I was my kids knew, Mom is in the promised land. My grandkids came to visit me in Missouri, and they go, Grandmama, you are in the promised land. You got a McDonald's across the street. I was in the promised land. And God is speaking to me, to my, you're moving to Wisconsin. I'm like, that ain't happening. There's frozen people up here. So I'm here on a Friday night, and I'm about right in there someplace. And this young lady turns to me and she says, In 2022, you will be here. And I said the normal thing that a human would say. I rebuke that. I'm like, no. I'm like, she doesn't know that God is speaking to me. And I'm like, no, this is not happening. Yeah, my kids are here, but I'm in the promised land. So I get back home, and I remember sitting on my couch, and I had just finished painting my apartment, decorating. I had just finished in March. Everything was perfect. And I'm like, what in the world? And God says to me, enjoy what you have done. But in next year at this time, you will be in Wisconsin. And I'm here. I began to cry, and I looked, and I said to God this, will you give me a better promised land than I have here? And I called my children to let them know I'm moving. I'm moving. Designed by God. So when Sister Karen called, and at first I didn't want to pick up the phone because it's an unknown number, and I thought it was a spam. I'm like, I've been getting all these people wanting to buy my home in Michigan because I'm originally from Michigan. And I'm like, well, let me see how much they want to offer me. You know, ching ching, you know. And so I pick up the phone to hear what they want to offer, and I hear, is this Sister Pat? I go, it ain't no spam. No one knows no Sister Pat. And that's when she began to say, I want you to speak on a relationship. As if she has not seen my face buried in the carpet in the morning because my relationship and my life was a mess, because friends and things that I thought were solid and strong and bonded together had unraveled. And then I thought, how in the world she know about me? I just moved here last year, the end of March. All right. And she says, yeah, this Sister Pam has been talking about you. I go, who is Sister Pam? I don't know no Sister Pam. And she says, yeah, she just talked about you and blah, blah. I'm going, and then she said, Sister Pam Siebel. That lady right there. And I'm like, Sister Pam Siebel? I haven't talked to her. I haven't seen her in over 6 years. I'm like, God, by design. I met Sister Siebel in Oregon when I used to go out there and visit my friend, and I would help minister at that church while I was there. And then they moved back to Illinois, and I'm going, Sister Siebel's in Illinois. No, but she goes to our church. God started working something years ago so that I could be here today, all by design, all by the hand of God, because the word I'm getting ready to speak to you, you are God's child, but he has a word for you. He had designed to move someone out of their promised land, bring them here, but to a better promised land, hear me now, to speak to his daughters about relationships. Some of you, your relationship have completely unraveled. And you're in a place where you don't know what to do. There are some of you where your relationship is unraveling. And you're wondering, what did I do wrong? What's going on here? And then there are some of you who have relationships that are solid. But God is speaking to you today because one day a relationship is going to unravel. It's going to unravel. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Relationships can break you. Relationships that unravel can send you to a place where, in a time in my life where I wanted to commit suicide. A relationship unraveling can just bring you apart, and you don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want to be around anyone. Relationships are powerful things when they're together. When they're together. In Numbers chapter 15, the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the people of Israel and tell them to make tassels on the corner of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a cord of blue on that tassel of each corner. And it shall be a tassel for you to look at and remember all the commandments of the Lord, to do them, not to follow after your own heart and your own eyes, which you have inclined to whore after. So you shall remember and to do all my commandments, and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God." God showed me this to bring to you today. The children of Israel had to put these tassels, and they would hang them on their garments, that everywhere they would go, they would remember. The white was to remember the commandments, and that blue was to remember God. Remember. This is the only time with the tassels that God broke a commandment that he had given to his people. Because he said in that commandment to them, when you look it up and research is that the strands of the commandment that they would look at to remember, the white ones, was made of linen. But the blue one was wool. In God's own word, he said in Deuteronomy 22:11, "You shall not wear cloth or wool and linen mixed together." But he deliberately broke that commandment for them to wear it, because that represented for them, the reason why they couldn't wear it, represented priesthood. Only the priests could wear wool and linen together. Now that the lay people could wear wool and linen together, they too was part of God's priesthood. They too was important to look to God. So if you read that chapter, the next chapter, you find this is where Korah gets upset, and they go before Moses, because everybody can wear wool and linen together, which represent priesthood. But God, in his knowledge of mankind, his reason for them to do this is because sometimes when we have relationship, sometimes when our relationship began to unravel, we forget God. We will focus on that relationship and not him. And he has brought me here today to tell some ladies here that you have a relationship that have unraveled. You have a relationship that is unraveling, and you have forgotten him. And he's saying, turn your eyes back on him. Turn your eyes back on him. He knows that you are hurting. He loves you. He cares for you. He has not forsaken you, even though your relationship have unraveled with that husband, even though your relationship have unraveled with that son, that daughter, a friend. God is saying, I care about you. I love you. I have seen you. And don't you forget me. Don't you forget me. We're at this state and time in our lives when we think that we can do it on our own. I can fix this. I got it. And as my daughter-in-law said earlier, sometimes we walk around and people think, oh, wow, look at her. She is so together. Wow, I wish I was, they call me Mama Pat at the church. Mama Pat is so together. But they hadn't seen me in the morning with my face down on the carpet crying because I'm like, why have this relationship unraveled? God, what are you doing? How come my friend that I've known for years, all of a sudden it is gone apart? Things in my children's life. And I'm like, God, help. And at the same time, oh, yes, children. Oh, yes, teachers, let's go. We're going to do this. And I'm looking all good on Sunday morning. And inside of me, like Hammy, let's go on. Do you need something? Can I help you? And inside of me, I'm like, God, I'm being torn apart because I can't fix a relationship. I can't put it back together. And I don't know why or how. Some relationships that have unraveled, you are trying to think, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Did I not say the right things to him? Did not pray enough? What did I do wrong? And it just haven't unraveled. And we keep focusing on that. And we forget to turn our eyes and remember, God, you are in control. God, I remember that no matter what I'm going through, you're going to take me up in your arms. You're going to carry me. You're helping me walk through this. Remember, ladies, some of you are forgetting. You think that your relationship with those around you have unraveled. And not only that, you're believing that that relationship with God has unraveled. But God will never leave you nor forsake you. And he's here today to tell you again, he loves you and he is carrying you. Oh, broken. Throughout the scriptures as we look at it, God has used things to help people to remember the rainbow. We remember, oh, he's not going to destroy the world again. Stones from the river Jordan, the Lord's Supper, the Passover, how the death angel passed over them. And God said, do this to remember. Remember. Because if you forget me, you're going to go whoring or going after something else. Remember. God knew that we needed something to remind us to look to him. So by design, I go through trials after trials last year. Still, I'm in the Sunday school room painting walls. Oh, isn't this just great? And inside, God help me, but I got to get this done so that I could be here today. I understand pain of relationships unraveling. But here's the one thing that broke my heart that God told me to tell you. I'm in my prayer chair Everybody got a prayer chair. If you don't, you need a prayer chair. Go to Goodwill. They got them all there. I love Goodwill. God help me. I got to stop spending money there. Wednesday, I'm sorry. We get up here and we start digressing. Wednesday is senior day at Goodwill. And Tuesday at St. Vincent is senior day. And I'm there. You can find me there. Praying, Jesus, let me find what I need, you know. But I'm in my prayer chair. And this is coming. I'm like, I want to talk. I can't talk to this lady about relationship. I know nothing. I came up to fix my relationship. And he says this, which just terrifies me. He said, when you go and you speak to them, do not give them false hope. Some relationships are not going to be put back together. No matter how much you pray, no matter how much you seek God, no matter how much you fast, some relationships are not going to be put back together. And I said, oh my God, what are you saying? And he said, remember your relationship. I fasted. I prayed. I sought God after my husband had left me with 2 boys. I waited years. He went back to Nigeria. And I'm thinking, and my church is praying. And I told everybody in 1989, God is going to answer and God is going to move. And, you know, everybody was saying, yes, God's going to bring this marriage together. And at the end of that 7 years, 2 days before Christmas, the answer came after I had ended a 13-day fast. And the guy on the phone that had not been in America for 13 years, God had already told me the answer is on its way. And Magnus said to me on that phone, Zani is remarried. And his wife is expecting their first child. Some relationships are not going to be put back together. But even though that relationship is not going to be put back together, your eyes cannot turn away from God. You got to keep praying. You got to keep seeking him. You got to keep believing him, because it's during those times God is able to move by his Spirit, pour into your heart, strengthen you, and to help you to go on and walk through that situation. You cannot stop praying. Oh, if God's not going to answer it, I might as well give up. But your strength is going to come from him. And you got to keep your eyes on him. Remember. Hey, we got to remember, ladies. We can't forget. We can't forget the one who is there for us, the one who died for us, the one who loves us, even though we are going through a bad relationship. It will never be perfect in our lives. He said, you will go through tribulation in this world. But he said, I've overcome. I've overcome. But don't take your eye off of him. Remember when you're down on that floor like I was, remember, there are times we even, we want to pour out into other people's lives when we're having problems. Oh, my poor kids, God bless them. Thank God for a counselor in the family. She doesn't charge me. She doesn't charge me. But my son is also my pastor too. One evening, I had gone to Office Mac to pick up some supplies from Sunday school, and I was in the parking lot, and it hit. You know how those relationships just hit, and you just start crying and weeping, but it just hit. I hadn't started crying yet, and he had gone over to Culver's, and it's right there by it, with the kids, and he saw Mama's car, and he goes, "Oh, I just go over and say, 'Hi, Mom, how you doing?'" And so he came on over, rolled down his window, and this is in January, and he goes, "Hi, Mom, how things going?" Oh, my word. He said, "Dear Lord, I wish I'd never come over here." Because 45 minutes later, I am just pouring out. How's it going? "Oh, this was it. That's going." And snot, it just frozen because it's January. It's stopping here. Tears are coming. It's going, and my son's eyes are all bucked at me like, "I didn't expect this. Where's Cammie? Mom needs counseling in the parking lot at Office Mac." Oh my, and the kids, and he's talking to the kids, "Stop fussing, stop," and he's trying to keep Solana and Sienna down. Nation's doing crying, and he's just looking at me. And I'm just feeling, you feel, you got to pour out everything. I'm just pouring it out. And he goes, "Uh-huh. Yeah." And then he spoke into my life words of wisdom. He said, "I need to take you on a vacation." Cammie's not here. There's no counseling here. "I need to take you on a vacation." And we went on a vacation, didn't we? You didn't know all of that, did you? But sometimes we do release, and it's at the craziest time. But relationship, that's what happened. And when you look into the Bible about relationship, there's no one person in all this room that haven't had some type of relationship that hasn't unraveled. And it's painful. I always look at, and we don't think about this young man, but Ishmael, his relationship with his father unraveled before his eyes, and he could do nothing. Within one day, he goes from having everything to having nothing and toss out. What pain was piercing his eyes. Paul and Barnabas, mighty men of God, their relationship as friends unraveled. We do not hear about them coming back together again. Jesus and his disciples, relationships. But whatever may have caused your relationship to unravel, I don't have an answer for it. The only thing that God has told me to tell you is to keep your eye on him. Remember, he is the one that is carrying you. He is the one that will take you through this valley and to bring you to that mountaintop. He is the one that will give you peace that passes all understanding, that will guard your heart and your mind. Keep your eyes on him. Remember, thousands of years later, even when I went to Israel, they still have those tassels because God is still saying, I'm God. I'm your God. And he is still saying to his daughters, by design, I'm your God, and I will be with you throughout your situation. Don't give up on God. Continue to seek his face because he will be with you. He will be with you. I had some ladies, some young girls, and you may not have one, but they passed out a little blue tassel. I had my pastors and their wives to pray over these, and I have been praying over these. That as you are going through that terrible situation in your life where that relationship has totally unraveled, or you see your relationship unraveling and you're trying to stop, that you will remember to keep your eyes on him and not the problem. So I want us to do something, because this is the end of the session. Ladies, I want you to pray. I want us to stand, and we're going to pray. There are some people you know that may be going through a relationship that has unraveled, or a relationship that is unraveling. And maybe your relationship is fine, but we need to pray for our sister. They need you. We need each other. Those prayers goes up to God, helping those hearts that are so pierced and broken. And trust me, as I stand here, those relationships last year, they have not come back together. I'm still hurting over the loss, the pain. But even with that, I keep, God, you are my helper. You are my strength. I know I'm taking this one day at a time, holding on to you. Oh, Jesus. Move right now. Let's pray for each other. Oh, God, move right now. And ladies, your daughters are those that are suffering, those that are feeling the pain of a relationship that have unraveled. Oh, dear Jesus, move. Minister to their spirit right now. Oh, Lord. Sweep down with your spirit over these sisters. You have brought them here this day by design. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Heal, direct, and strengthen your daughters. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Even if their relationship don't come back together,